Hello and welcome to another Driven Catalyst live stream. This is going to be nearly an ASMR stream, I think, because I feel so low energy today. I feel like I'm going to be so much more soft-spoken and tame than I normally am. And I have the lights off in my office. I normally work with the lights off, but I will turn on. I have production lights that I will live stream with. And that's not in the cards for today. We're not going to do that. And similarly, I am going to talk through some of my creative process on the work I'm working through, but we're going to do it reverse charade style. So where charades, the ultimate rule is you show, don't tell. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, but I'm not going to show you, which seems a little counterintuitive if like I said, I'm feeling low energy. It feels dumb to put all the pressure on me to speak and talk through what I'm doing, but it's actually, that's I think a little bit live stream survival mode, is to just narrate what I'm doing and not have to provide too much commentary. We're going to keep it to a minimum. I want to keep the vibes chill and not irritating. But I just need a laid back live stream. So basically, I'm continuing work on my brandphlet, which is a word that brings a smile to my face, even with the office lights out, feeling low energy on a Wednesday. Brandphlet will always make me crack a smile. I totally redid it after meeting with my boss on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. And it looks a lot better now. Understanding both the industry standard for putting together a brand guide, but then also what our needs are for our size of company, and for what developers will look at and refer back to. Kind of fusing those two has been I don't know. I was gonna say the trick, but it hasn't been too bad. I typed up text for it on Monday or Tuesday, whenever I last streamed. And I do want to reassure you all, if you've watched it, that none of that text is still in existence, which was the idea at the time. I kind of was just brain dumping into a text box to set up how I wanted the text alignment to look and kind of fill in some of the gaps of the information that I would include. But I think I literally in it, I speak in the first person a lot and say, I typically would, and blah, 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 which is not the tense or that's just not the form of language, typing, speech, active or passive, first person, whatever, that I think is ultimately ideal to use or professional to use. So I also have spaced out, I designated brand colors now, which I don't know how I didn't do that the first time, but when I met with my boss, I think that talking through things with him helped me figure out way more what structure was needed. So I've been working on that, and then right now I have color schemes segmented out into game colors and utility colors. So colors to be used in a game app, and then colors to be used in a utility app. Something that is a reoccurring struggle is because it's my color palette, because they're my color palettes and I'm adhering to them for this brandphlet, setting background colors has been tricky because I'm following the color scheme And then it means I have to sometimes add like an outline on a color swatch, which then makes things less uniform looking because there's an outline on one but not all of them, if that makes sense, because I'm outlining it in a brand color. And so, you know, it's not a big deal to anyone that doesn't work in this line of business. It probably doesn't sound like a big deal. To me, I unfortunately care I care a lot. I care deeply. But I think I've been figuring it out and navigating it decently, making visual choices that make sense and look good. Okay, so I'm going to kind of focus on cleaning up some of the text on this live stream. So I have things outlined. I have primary logo, secondary logo, and I have little text boxes for them. So it says this word mark is the primary logo for Driven Catalyst, and then this logo mark is the secondary logo for Driven Catalyst, and I need more text explaining use cases. But we're a little bit informal here, so I can be a bit more informal outlining them. Another thing that I'm kicking around the idea of, it feels appropriate to me, and I do like the idea of this feeling professional in a way that adheres more to the industry standard, like what you would find if you were looking up logo use cases for a university or something like that, or like a major brand like Audible, for example. Is when I was putting together some of our little video promo sponsorship ads for Eagle 9 Locked. That was my first time kind of out of college brushing up against brand guidelines and really needing to pay attention to them. And it's not uncommon / it is very common for brands to outline like how much space you maintain around the logo in different use cases. So I like the idea of doing that. How to explain that is something I've been struggling with a little bit. Like, do I list that spacing in pixels or what? I should look up. I should pull up another brands as an example. But what I'm doing right now is I'm creating little, because this was another thing. I was trying to figure out how to show it visually. And I'm realizing that a dotted line goes a long way. A dashed line. Yeah, wait, I like that better. Okay. Now that I have the dashed line, things are spaced differently from how I would prefer. I need to lock my background colors too. I do that way too often where I don't just lock my background color immediately. And then I'll try and move something and everything moves and it's just a whole pain. Okay. Silver lining. Well, okay. Let's leave room for text. I came up with fun little names for our color swatches too, for our brand colors. And that was like a dream come true as someone who grew up and dreamt of being the person to come up with the OPI nail polish colors. It was fun to come up with like a little fun brand appropriate names. So we've got a forest green. Our dark forest green is called fur in firmware. Like put the fur in firmware. Of course, firmware is like a silly little software pun, and fir is spelled F-I-R, like a fir tree, which kind of like, actually, in my mind, I'm thinking of a balsam fir. It's that color, almost. Is that accurate? I think it's actually more pine looking. Let's just look up fir tree. Okay, it's more of a Fraser fir, which is great because that means that it is an accurate color description. Frankly, none of them are quite as vibrant as the color in use, but I don't think that should limit my tree pun ability. Anywho, so we've got fur in firmware, and then we have a lime green color. I really wanted to come up with some sort of lime pun. I was gonna do a lime wire one, which felt in line with some of our, like the era, I feel like, of some of the aesthetic choices we've made. And I don't know, the LimeWire internet stuff just felt in line with things. And the sense of humor does too, but incorporating another brand's name into brand colors for our brand felt weird. So we went with Cash Only, but Cash spelled C-A-C-H-E, which is cute and fun, I think. And then we've got Cloud Computing, which is the name of my, like, it's like a shade of cream. Obviously, it's funny because clouds are like white, cream, whatever, silver, and like the cloud storage, whatever. It's like they're fun pun dad jokes. So that's really cute. I've got the fonts listed out, but not all of them. I ended up including only what's used already in web, but I'm going to include other fonts that I like to use, as well as I realize I don't have our Hack Arcade font listed. What size are all of these? As much as I want to be self-effacing sometimes when I do these either very high-strung live streams or way more laid back, like I'm not saying much at all. I love content where people are just sort of chilly going about their day. And so I do hope that this is scratching that itch for someone. Okay, I just got the Hack Arcade font loaded in there. And I'm going to make sure these are all spaced nicely. Did I eyeball space that right? Sometimes I go to align things and make sure they're equally spaced. Yeah. And the lack of movement alarms me when I go to align them. And I can't tell if it's because I have things grouped funky or if I haven't really... If I have them grouped funky and they didn't actually realign, or if I just eyeballed it and did it right the first time. Obviously, that's wishful thinking, that I just did it right the first time. But I know in my heart of hearts that that's probably not true. And so I'm always on high alert about it, and that works out in my favor. I wonder if this would be beneficial. I'm going to take the dotted line, the dashed line, and outline my color palettes with it. I'm going to give it a broader stroke. There we go. And I think this is a cute choice. Because we have the dashed line in our logo. I changed the style of the dashed line just now too, so that between the two of them they look a little bit different. And then I think I'm going to be a little bit more stylized even further and have game colors aligned left. And then utility colors aligned right. What if I flip them like this? Ugh, no, I hate that. And such is the life of someone who does any sort of design, formatting, whatever work. Anyone making creative choices. Sometimes you do things and you're like, ooh. I am public enemy number 1 to myself right now. That's how it feels. Or maybe I'm dramatic. What? Me? Dramatic? No. Oh, I realigned it when I didn't need to. Oh. I said I hated it, but I kind of don't. I am once again, imagine the Bernie Sanders meme. I am once again singing Audrey Hobart in my head on repeat. Who can relate? I like to think everyone can. Here is my plea for you all to listen to something fun and new from an artist you don't normally listen to or haven't yet discovered. This Friday, I will be out of office. So there will be no new Music Friday stream, but that does not mean that you shouldn't listen to new music and support smaller artists this new Music Friday. We've taken quite a hiatus from doing such things, because last week we did Lord, which is new music, but it's not necessarily supporting a smaller artist. And the week before that, I feel like I was... I think we live streamed the week before. But we've had a couple Fridays off recently. All right. I'm really liking my color palette, actually. And I think outlining things and the dotted line has helped a lot. Now I think I need to see how this will look outlined with a dashed line outline. And let's set it to 10 for the dashed line. Is that cute? It's not awful. If I make the dashes a little smaller, I think that'll help. No, I liked it before. It is coming along though. Things are looking good. Then I'm gonna copy and paste the text over here. Say supplementary brand fonts. Or what's another word? Yeah, we'll say supplementary brand fonts. Then I'll sort of talk through the font process more in depth. Okay, so there's a lot more to continue on and include in this, but I think we're at a good stopping point, or at least we're at a good stopping point for the live stream. I think I need to ruminate on different choices I want to make. I didn't realize I sunk down into the so far down in the camera frame. Let's call it. This has been a mellow live stream. A little bit of reverse charades for you today. I told you, I did not show you. If we circle back though, as I wrap up the brandphlet, as promised, we will go over the final thing eventually. Just not today and probably not tomorrow. But I will see you tomorrow. I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I will talk